Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another show. My name is Tyler, and I'm with Matt, the founder of ORATS. ORATS is an options analytics platform built on top of over 15 years of historical options data. Our dashboard is integrated with Tradier, meaning you can research and discover trades on our platform and then seamlessly send them through to your Tradier brokerage account. Today on the show, we're going to talk about how to use indicators like Contango to help trade calendar spreads. Matt, do you want to share your screen and get us started by going over our current positions?
Sure. We took last week off, and the week before we sold a call spread, and it looks like we lost it. The market just went straight up, so we lost. Let's see, we sold for about $1, and we lost $2. So it was 1 to 2 chance, and we lost on that one. So I think we're still up quite a bit. And a cool thing that's coming, Tyler, is, and I could say it now, is our journal that you can see it
Yes.
here. So we're going to be excited to launch that hopefully in a few days to some beta testers, and then we'll have it out as a general release. So that'll be exciting. I don't have to take pictures of my trades, and then it'll be all in the trade journal. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's very exciting. And if any of you viewers want to beta test it, just give us an email, support@orats.com, and we'll add you to the list. We did get a question from a user over the weekend, Matt, to discuss on today's show. Mike asked on last Friday, apart from the obviously low VIX, market was at all-time highs, and was there any sign that ORATS was signaling of today's big move down and volatility expansion?
Yeah. So I'm going to go to the Outlook tab. Can you see my screen okay?
Yep.
So the Outlook tab would show these types of things early if there was something. And we had a slight upturn in implied volatility, which is this right here. But basically, I think this took people flat-footed. If you were to ask me on these, like we barely had it coming up, so you may have been able to get lucky and see that, hey, vol is turning a bit on the move Friday. So, but let's just see here. Contango, yeah, that barely was falling. So there's not a lot of pre-knowledge, it looks like, in the signals in the option market. So it looks like it caught most people flat-footed. It had a lot to do with this what was it?
DeepSeek?
Yeah, deep seek. I can never get that word right. It's the AI that all this money that's gone into AI. It looks like a Chinese startup has done it a lot more cheaply and done it very well. So that hasn't been good for this whole AI boom where there's all the money going in. So anyway, it looks like over the weekend, maybe late Friday, people started finding out about it. But yeah, thanks for the question. We always enjoy the question. So if you guys have any, just let us know. But I didn't see much. The options market is often where you will see people coming in if they know anything, because there's so much leverage. But I didn't see anything this time, Tyler.
Well, on that note, Matt, it kind of makes me think that maybe this downturn isn't indicative of something long term. It was more just an immediate reaction to a news event regarding AI. So it's possible that since the options market isn't really indicating any bearish signs, that this could just be a blip, and then we'd be back up, this week.
Yeah, it's hard to read because definitely now though we're seeing some damage technically done. With implied volatility up over its moving average, with the implied volatility of the SPY divided by the components, that's starting to get into worrisome territory. Contango is definitely in worrisome territory. It's down near negative 0.5. So keep an eye on that. We're going to talk a little bit more about that today. So just because it wasn't foreseen doesn't mean there's not some technical damage that's already showing out there, Tyler.
Gotcha. Okay, well, yeah, let's jump in and let's talk about Contango, our indicator of the day. I mean, can you explain the differences between Contango as like a concept, versus backwardation and things like that, and how people traditionally use the term, and the difference between that and our indicator, which kind of has a little bit more of a specific measurement behind it?
Yeah, so I mean, Contango is a state when the front months are below the back months in implied volatility. Backwardation, or as we call it, negative Contango, is when, like is happening here. In this graph, we show all the expirations and the at the money implied volatilities, and you could tell in the front months, here's February, March, April, you could tell we're in the current months, the volatility is much higher. And so that is definitely backwardation, or as we call it, negative Contango. And you can see where, the measurement of it now, and it's you can see it updating over there too, but it's really fallen off as the market fell off, Tyler.
Yeah, it's interesting to look at it in the graph. So what would can you maybe pull up like a positive Contango or something maybe above 0 or above 0.5 or something that is very strong?
It might be hard right now with everything in the market. The front months are up. We'd have to probably.
I mean, we could scan for it,
yeah,
right?
That's true. Yeah, you go to a stock scanner, and we can look for. So this is negative Contango. So I will clear the settings, and I will look for skew, and in skew is Contango. So we want some high Contango. You can tell that it's off a bit because the high is negative. We'll probably want to see stocks with some more volume than we're going to get here. It's not going to be as meaningful. So we'll go to volume. I like to set, the average volume, greater than some amount. Let's do 710. So I'm traveling this week, Tyler. So my computer might be a little bit slow, but hopefully it comes up. So here's some Contango stock, and let's look at the Contango, high Contango. IBIT was one. Let's see. Some of these are low price stocks. SLNO Therapeutics has high Contango. Let's see if there's anything that we can look at here. Yeah, let's try IBIT. IBIT. Although, what do we? Yeah. So this is of course, the Bitcoin ETF, and you can see that these front months are lower than these back months, and that's usually typical for stocks, but now Bitcoin's not moving around as much as other stocks, and it's still in Contango, as we call it, Tyler.
Got it. Okay, so if we look at the outlook for IBIT, would it kind of show a different chart then? I just kind of want to see like a comparison.
Yeah. So of course, IBIT hasn't been around for a long time, so we're going to have some problems with some of these graphs. But what we can see is, kind of generally the shape
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Cool.
but like we don't have enough historical data on IBIT really to create much in this structure.
Gotcha. So how about now let's look at like what kinds of strategies are good in different contango environments. So like when contango is heading down, maybe we can do a stock scan for this, like falling contango or something like that. What kind of strategies would be like option strategies would be good to trade on that type of indicator?
Yeah, so let me see here. I have definitely calendars is something that you would think about immediately. What you want to see is a time where contango, I have it here, maximum of 0.5. So we saw SPY just getting down to that 0.5. So let's actually loosen that up a little bit so we could see if we could capture SPY in there, because I don't think it, as you may recall from the graph, it was probably about 0.4. So let's see if 0.3 might capture SPY in here. You see it in the list yet? Yeah, there it is. So SPY is indeed about 0.4, negative 0.388. So these are some ETFs that might be good candidates for some type of a calendar. And so what I like to do is then say, okay, well, we have a backtester where you could set up a calendar, and you wouldn't want to do like a call calendar or a put calendar. You'd want to do like a double calendar. So what I've done is in our legacy backtester, you could we don't have a double calendar per se, but you could take an iron condor and you can adjust the leg relationships in order to make it into a diagonal. So it's a little bit difficult to do, but in this computer's laptop, so it doesn't show it real well. But I'm looking for trades that are, where the call it's not exact, it's a diagonal, meaning so we're selling the 143 call and buying the 145 call 45 days out. So what you get when you do that is you don't pay as much for the calendar since it's farther out of the money. And same thing here on the put. So we're selling a put that's closer to the money. The money at that point, way back in 2007, was 141, and so we purchased a put at 141. Actually, that's a little bit more in the money. And then so we did this diagonal and set it up, and it didn't look too good on its own. But what we wanted to see is, can we improve this diagonal if we add? So what we could do is then go in and what we could do is I'll edit this and show you that our entry trigger is now a contango with a maximum of negative 0.5. So it's right about where it is now. Does that make sense, Tyler?
Yeah. So yeah, you're just setting the contango and testing out on double calendars. I'm wondering, like, these days with people trading, with these announcements with AI happening, every day and people trading more intraday, is there a way to look at contango on like a 1 minute basis, maybe apply this backtest to intraday trading?
Yeah, we could look at that, but what I want to point out is that this strategy went from negative substantial 0.55 to positive. So
yeah, that's great. Yeah, I mean,
so
obviously the indicator is helpful there, right?
Yeah, definitely helpful for that period. And then, yeah, you could monitor Contango by going to our signal builder. And like right now I have Contango as one of my indicators that I check out. Contango, and I say, if Contango, if the smoothing average is, it's bullish if it's above. So, right now there's not a lot, to see. And then I'm wondering if Contango, let's turn one of those off. So what we want to see, I did not want to do that actually, because I want to see so I have a 15-day simple or 15-minute simple moving average and a 45-minute simple moving average. So when when Contango, when when the blue is above, it's bullish, and that's what I'm saying. I'm saying there. So you could monitor this, kind of throughout the day, and
the idea being like when it meets that criteria, and when you get that signal, then you head over to the option scanner, you run that double calendar, and then you place the trade.
Right. This I would think would be, probably just one of a couple different indicators that I would use. What I like about the intraday indicators, I don't trade like zero DTEs that much. You have to be on it a little bit too much. Eventually, if we do some automation, potentially we could do that. But when I'm putting on a trade, I'll look and just make sure that Contango, and make sure that implied volatility, for example, isn't moving too much, meaning isn't moving so much that if I slide this over, we could start to see that. So in this graph, the implied volatility is falling. So that's usually a good sign for the market. So that's a bullish sign for the market. So I would definitely keep that in mind as I, when I'm putting on a trade, or if I were, trading zero DTE, I would be watching these, or if I automated it, I'd definitely be watching these. And I would look at these in unison. I mean, some of it's somewhat choppy, but for example, this is implied volatility. It started to rise, and then the market started to fall here, and then it didn't come down until here, and then the market rallied. So it's a decent indicator, and then I like to use it in conjunction with like Contango changing throughout the day as well. So yeah, definitely, and this is going to be one of the things we're going to focus on more, is getting these signals integrated so they could be more easily used. For example, you could use them in even if you're not trading automatically, you could use them in an algo. You could say, hey, listen, the market's quite bullish right now, so just keep that in mind for this trade. And then if you're putting on a delta neutral trade like a iron condor, you might want to watch for a market that's not moving one way or the other. So that's how I would tend to look at intraday movement, Tyler.
Yeah, that's really cool how you can basically prove the efficacy of the signal in the legacy backtester, and then once you have sort of an idea of how it improves the strategy and how often it's in the market and stuff like that, then you can track it intraday and use it as a signal to trade with the option scanner. So I think the workflow is really cool, and yeah, we are working on ways to make it more seamless and just an easier experience for everybody. So it'll be great to see when that's done.
Yeah, definitely. You bring up a good point, though. So it's kind of a thing where in the short term, you could apply what works in a very long-term environment. That is a nice way to think about it.
Yeah, and I think, it has to do with our legacy backtester. You can reduce your path dependency in a lot of ways, which helps sort of prove the efficacy of the signal. Intraday backtesting, it's a little harder to do that, right? Because path dependency is like, okay, what minute do you enter? And if you're doing it every minute, then it can get a little intense. So I think there's still a lot of intricacies with intraday backtesting that need to be sort of iterated on and proven in a lot of these tools. So I'm excited to see where ORATS goes with it, and how it all relates to signals and making more profitable trades.
Yeah, and that's where we definitely want to go, speeding up and then starting to backtest some of these signals against backtesting streams. So you could get like here's a typical backtest, here's each minute, and then you could test the signals against that and see if there's some predictable like crossovers or moving averages or something like that could really help your trading.
Yeah, I mean, ORATS has so many options specific indicators, and creating moving averages and all the technical stuff on top of each of those is a whole nother level of trading.
Right.
Cool. Anything else for the show today, Matt?
I was going to put a trade together, but I didn't get time on my travels here, so we're going to have to pass on the trade today. But it seems like a decent day with vol very high and Contango very high for that double diagonal. So I might try to put it together, but it's going to take me a bit to do that.
Okay, no worries. We'll end it a little early then.
Okay.
But thanks for talking about Contango, and a lot of opportunities with your favorite double calendar spread, and just ORATS indicators in general. There's a lot coming up and a lot to do already. So thanks for taking the time to explain it. Thank you, Trader, for hosting us again. If you guys have any questions about our indicators or data or dashboard, you can always email us at support@orats.com, or leave a comment in the community tab or on the videos, anything like that. So we'll see you guys again next week. Thank you.
Thanks, Todd.
You know how the financial world goes. Here comes the buzzkill. Please make sure to take some time to read this boring disclaimer. We will owe you one.